right, so we're going to start with motioning ourselves so that we're adjacent. There's a chair adjacent to your mat. This is important today. So you have your chair. So if I'm facing into the middle of the space, my back to the wall, my chair is over to the right. Okay? So what I want us to do is start with that chair so it's pretty close to your mat. It'll be really easy. And even if you have minimal space, I would have you put the chair so if you take a wide stance with your right foot against the wall, it's wide and it's challenging. So you really have to engage the legs and your core and find this definition, not really fluidity in the beginning. There's a lot of like feeling of muscle connecting to the bone definition. Okay, so have that chair so it seems like it's in the middle, right? If you were to reach forward and land on it, it's there. And then let's just simply take our belt. So we're going to start with a kind of a funneling or a tunnel of our breath and our arm position. So let's simply bring our arms forward a little wider than shoulder width. I want you to feel the expansiveness of your legs out of the pelvis and feel where the pelvis is centering. Now, if it's hard for you to actually maneuver your tailbone under, I want you to have your feet a little closer, okay? And then as you move your arms up overhead, alternate that in and out breath with the movement of the arms. So feel this as a bit of a moving meditation, but it requires balance and support by the wall against your right foot. So as you inhale, belly relaxes, and as you out breath, belly draws towards the spine. So the arms are simply in front of the heart, and then they're overhead. So start to jostle some of the tissues in the shoulders, but also to feel some energy in your arms. I'm really noticing how your arms have an energy moving through them to start. Not just the legs, but also the uppers. Okay, now simply lower down, but move your belt behind you. So you're going to hold it with the hands, and as I hold it behind me, I have my palms facing towards the front of the space, and I'm working my shoulders back. I still have the wide stance, but I'm lifting the ribs, and I'm starting to lift up my gaze towards the ceiling. Monitor motion. Hinge at your hips. Your gaze is going to go with your positioning movement. And then feel where your arms are kind of feisty here behind you. Do they go up? Do they go down? Do they lower all the way and take a break? I want you to actually take a break and let the belt touch to your buttocks or to the back of your legs for a moment. And see if you can project reaching your ribs forwards. Moving the crown of your head forward so your spine is long. And then activate the kneecaps. So draw the muscles above the kneecaps up, tighten up in the legs. And then feel where you're bracing here. Reach your arms back and up, but only that degree where you feel that toleration in the chest and the shoulders where it's tolerable. But I encourage you to try to keep your neck straight. Feel the chest circulation. Keep the width with the belt rather minimal. Drop your belt. Reach your hands to the seat of the chair. Find the amount of reach with the chair. Now, if it's difficult to push it farther away from your position, you've limited space, you can simply put your hands farther forward on the seat of the chair and lower your forehead to it. I'm going to encourage you to use more of the seat of the chair with the arm stretch versus trying to push it farther away and away. So look at your legs above your ankles, that line that is kind of in this diagonal zone. And feel the legs push back, feel the hips push back, and lower down the brain to the chair. And feel the length in your spine. So I want you to maintain that reach in the back. The head lowers down. See if you can practice the pause where your head actually has a support of the chair. Feel the thighs pull up, activate, put definition in the muscles of the legs. Breathing slow. Exhaling completely. Now we're going to move our spine to a cat back. So round your back, feel the armpits stretch, and slide the hands to the edge of the chair seat. I tend to bring the chair seat close to my mat this way. And then feel where the feet press down. Lift up and arch the back. So feel the arch of the spine. Position yourself so now you can easily bring your hands to your hips. Now the chair is not going to be used on this side of our mat for a little bit of time. So as we come up, I want you to actually turn your feet to face towards the wall. Turn your back foot towards the wall so both feet are parallel facing to the wall space. And hands at the wall. Bend the right knee. Okay? Lower your hands so they're right at that shoulder height and recruit the opportunity here to feel the awareness through the back calf. Okay? I'll move the chair so it's a little easier to guide you through this. But maintain the connectivity here of your back leg. Try to feel the feet and the legs working in tandem, right? So they're both in this position of we're going straight to the wall, okay? Almost through the wall. So press into the wall like you mean it, like you're going to try to push it away. So it becomes weight training. So we're building muscles, but that also helps build bones. Okay, so resistance is key. Okay, so take a simple moment here of feeling that pressure, and then I want you to step the right foot back, but keep the pressure into the wall, and step the foot back and switch sides, and see if you can work through the calf connective tissue. Now my left foot, I like to play the game of flexing, lifting my toes a little bit, but the ball of my foot is at the base of the wall, right? So I'm stretching my foot fascia, right? So it's one of those unique things a wall can do for your foot. But my heel is pressing down. I'm really trying to get the bottom of the foot to kind of ooze open, right? Kind of oozle foot. So bend the left knee. That's the trick, isn't it? Bending the left knee and pushing the wall away from you. And manage the arch in the spine. Keep it pretty moderate here. So whatever seems to be a regular pattern when you push into something, feel that in moderation and explore if you can kind of pause and just be centered, almost like you're getting to be peaceful as it progresses, not more stressed out. Like you're feeling your muscles, everything awake, acutely aware. And now, as you push into the wall, you want to be so close to it that you can actually use it as a prop. Feel the spine move back, feel the left foot step back, and then take a standing forward hinge, right? So it's not a full dog pose. We have our hands on the wall, but it is a wall stretch at a right angle. So feel the hands push the push the wall away. And then as you reach back into your side waist, try to wag your tail side to side just a couple times. Let your head relax. Feel that intensity in your side muscles of the back. Okay, my foot stance is fairly wide. It's a little wider than hips distance. So what we'll play with is to step the left foot in center of your mat, the right foot forward again, and I want you to actually start to turn back towards the screen so the outer side of the right foot is against the wall. Turn the left foot away, and then start to proceed into a side angle, and feel when you lean into this left leg that your elbow is on the thigh, so take a wide stance. So your right foot touches into the wall. If you're not so sure about the stance, you can come back up. Feel the width of the chest through the arm gesture. It's the pelvis that's a challenge here, because your upper bones, this space kind of knows no boundaries, right? I mean, there's restrictions in the tissues, but it gets it. But the pelvis is a little bit different. It's got this protective layer and the organs just above its basin. So feel when you lean into it, feel the back foot press, and then take yourself away. Pose, take me away. Let the right arm soar over, and let's keep in motion. So we're gonna turn this time and lower down to getting the block. So take them in, have your legs in the same pattern, the right outer foot to the wall. Turn your blocks up so that you have a helping hand, helping foam. Okay, so feel the lunge ever so forward, above the ankle. Feel that positioning of the leg strengthening. And stay with it for a few more moments. I want you to work with the pelvis muscles surrounding the pelvis to stretch and to strengthen the right knee. So let's try this as a knee exercise. So we're going to pivot the back foot so the heel is up at the wall. Feel the left knee if it changes, if the energy on the inside of the left knee feels more comfortable there. Just notice. Okay. I want you to stretch the left foot a little farther forward and lower the right knee, but not to touch the floor. Lower it and motion the tailbone back and sense the stretch of the right quadricep. You feel like an energetic lunge. And now lift up the back, the hip in the back, step the left foot in a little bit, and then with care, you're going to step the right foot besides the left foot. And I want you to take a forward bow into your legs. Keep it real comforting. So lower down the chest, reach behind your legs. Gather in the legs and lift up the sitting bones and let the spine elongate. Like a lengthening process and a gateway to let the brain go. Yeah, holding your legs is not your jam and you don't want to do that version. You can hold your elbows. This is your version of a simple forward fold. Breathing, feeling the upper ribs. Feel the energy cascading through the spine. Now maintain this current of length. And then as we guide our hands onto the blocks now, we're going to send back into that left foot, but have the heel up at the wall. And let the foot feel its way back. This time we'll start with the left knee towards the floor. So feel the perspective of leg, energetic, feel the perspective of the buttocks and that connection into the pelvis. And your body muscles into the position. There's all this engaging muscle pattern here. So centering your focus on breath again, and again, and again. it's certainly something you're devoted to the most, huh? Breath devotion. I'm sure there's devotional breathing as well. So when we feel the back hip center up, feel when that right knee is lunging, and I would slide the foot a little bit in so it's easy for you to engage the hamstring on the right leg, and you kind of feel this right hip, not so sure, should I go out, should I drop down? I want you to feel the energy from that right sitting bone to direct like it's moving towards the wall, okay? So pivot the back left heel, so the outer sense of the heel is at the wall, and sweep forward into that lunge. Now, when you go into the side angle, let's try to keep this similar as last side. So we have the right elbow on the thigh, and then we stretch the left arm open. Now you can come up and really center your width. Really try to go wide with the legs. This is why we're using the wall, right? So we actually will go towards kind of our limits, right? We have limitations here. So feel that limit. Not the sky the limit, but the lunge is the limit. And then feel your waist stretch with the left arm via the arm. A few more moments. Breathe. Use that back wall besides your left foot. Try to make contact with the back foot to the wall. My hope is that your side feels this, the whole left side. Reach the left hand down to the block, and then as we turn, we're going to take a full pivot now. So we're going to lower down. We're going to lower down our hands onto the floor. And then as we step the right foot back, and we're in dog pose, feel the heels lifting up. Feel the chest stretching through. And guide your muscles here to extend. And then move forward to an upright push-up, so a plank pose. Walk the hands out to the edges of your sticky mat, so it's a wide plank. And then let's practice kind of honoring how our muscles work in tandem here. So let's lower the knees, carefully grasp onto a bolster. Place it under your core. So I'm going to place the bolster straight forward. And I'm going to gain the support by pushing away with my feet so my knees are off of the floor. And my bolster really is under the full length of my torso. So as I lower down, my elbows are on the floor in Sphinx pose. And I want to encourage you to stay with the energy of your legs, but see what occurs in your core. Okay, so you have this bolster holding you up. So we still have muscles that we could recruit. So feel when your feet push into the wall. And then as you lift up, I want you to take your blocks. Okay, you're going to slide them next to your bolster. So now you've got your elbows on those things. And, well, it's even more comfort, huh? So palms are facing towards each other. Kind of row body arms. And then the left leg is going to lift up. And I want you to lift that foot up at the wall. Where else would it go? And get a feel that you're pushing into the wall with your ball of your left foot. My right heel is still trying to stay with it. Shift sides. Right foot comes up, left foot goes down. Focus on the ball of the foot, not the heel of the right foot. Focus on the ball of the foot into the wall. Yeah, if your hands get closer and you get a little bit tired, feel the hands apart. Like there's a kind of an orb of energy between your hands and it's getting wider and wider. It's not going in, it's getting farther out. I know we could add a prop there, huh? Okay, lower down your right foot. Now, my knees relax. They don't really push into the floor, but they're not lifting right now. I feel that relaxation in my spine. I'm going to bring my hands to the blocks. And I'm going to move my chest up. And fingers out, push and lift. Hands on blocks. Really big deal. So the hips have this bolster to stay the course of strengthening your lower back. Carefully work your way to lifting up the chest, and then we'll do some push-ups. So we're gonna lower down, feel our elbows by the sides, slide your blocks back a little bit further back. If you feel too close to the wall, you are always welcome to push a little bit farther forward. So keep in mind, you might have to change things up for comfort. And my blocks a little farther back. So elbows in by my sides. Carry on, come back up, lift. Strengthen your back. Feel if it lines up a little higher in the spine. Okay, now lower down. Okay, so as we come up this next time, we're going to actually push the blocks out to the side yard. They could be anywhere nearby. Don't worry how close they are, but have them not under your hands. And then as I fingers open, feel the fingers stretch out wide, so my hands kind of dial open. And then my elbows are going to squeeze in, of course, and I'm going to lift up. And then come back to table. Lift up the knees, stretch the heels to the base of the wall, and try to nestle the heels right at the wall's edge. Forehead to the bolster. If you can touch to the bolster with your forehead, I want you to let the hands go a little farther forwards. Really try to let your spine relax. Feet together, left heel a little bit up at the wall, and right leg straight back and up to the wall. So I'm trying to lift that right foot up. Left heel is tilted up at the wall to make it a little bit more weight bearing in your arms. Okay, now lower the right foot down. You can play a bit with this when you lift up your leg. Now on the second side, left foot up. You can play a little bit with moving the weight into your arms and pushing the weight back. You can play with that and see how it goes for you. The head of the bolster is quite tempting. And now, feeling the energy that reaches through your arms, breathe. Okay, now lower down the left foot, and as you shift, we're going to lower down the knees. And we're going to come back to using the chair. So let's take the chair onto the mat. Place your blocks so that they are at the feet of the chair, tilted up, both blocks. Okay. So as you come up to, basically hands and knees, isn't it? I want you to center your left heel at the wall, and we're getting all the standing poses in right away. So when you have your block at the foot of the chair on the right side, looking to it, my right foot's going to lift up and the toes stretch up and bam, right into the calf. Okay. Feel the elbows move down to the chair seat. See if you can reach your elbows down. So be practicing that calf sensation. The hips are trying to move themselves, not just to the wall, but I want you to really center the back of that right thigh. Feeling your seat reaching back. And the thigh muscles kind of stir up. So try the best that you can to draw up above the kneecaps and embody the quadricep. Play with that. Does it change the feeling in your calf? Okay, hands on chair, elevate ribs, and center the right foot under the chair seat so you feel both feet are particularly parallel. Be particular that each foot is on a different track. This makes a difference. And we're going to work through the right hip and the momentum of our pelvis to stretch our core. So this one, I really find that when I turn into a revolving triangle, opening to the right for this, my inside of my right foot tends to lift up. So I want you to try to press into the right foot, even if you're bending your knee a little bit. I'd rather have the inside of the right foot feel like it's creating connection to the floor. And then the right arm opens. It's already opened enough for most of us, right? So when our arm goes back, straight back. Yeah, you're at the wall. So you could take a little bit of a challenge. You might go, okay, I'll try it. You could try to bring your fingers so that the hand on the left arm, right, is fibered, right? So that hand on the chair is helping you lift up a little more. But also feeling your way back to the wall a little bit, and the arm on the left side reaching. So when I lower down, I certainly feel the right hip. Right arm behind you. See if you can move it back so that the shoulder is required to be part of the position. Broaden the collarbones. Yeah, stay a little bit attentive. I know eyes like to have a strong hook of a focus when you're balancing, but notice if you can soften the gaze and feel what you could do with your head so that your neck is a little more comfortable. Maybe turn to look down to the chair. Bring the right hand to the chair and start to shift. So the hip center, we're going to hold the sides of the seat of the chair and move into up dog. So right foot back, heels are up at the wall and lean long through the core. Lean long, lift up, heart. Okay, come back. I know the tendency is I want to sweep back and drop my head, but let's lower the right heel to the base of the wall. Step the left foot so the foot is flexed up on a block on the left foot of the chair. And then elbows down. Yeah, make your way to it. The feet have no problem pushing into the earth, but the hips have some connectivity issues on this pose. So feeling the calf tissues. Relaxing your energy around keeping the pose really kind of stiff. See if you can focus on, there's energy moving in the pose. Maybe your left leg is really feeling this. So feel when we transition what occurs through the calf. If it just goes right up into the hip. So we're going to press our hands on the seat. We're going to slide the left foot. So yes, it goes under the chair seat. Right on down, so sealing, suction the foot down, suction cup. Okay, back heel presses at the base of the wall. And then this time, let's lead with moving our left hip to twist. Left arm goes open and up. Your hand on the right side, however, is helping your elbow formulate length, the inner arm. So lift up through the inner lines of energy in the arms. Rotate the waist. Feel the left arm lift. Breathe. Left hand behind you and all the way at your own pace behind your back. Yeah. Energize the movement of the hip. So feel that left hip stretch back, feel the rotation in the torso. Breathing through the waist. Feel the belly move. Okay, now left arm goes up and it sweeps forward. This time we're going to push our chair by bending the left knee, pushing the chair forward. So we're going to go into a balance with the left foot down as the starter, where we have it now. And then I push the chair further away so that I can actually rebound off the back foot. So lift up the back heel, spring off that foot and lift it up to the wall. Okay, So my hands, if they're a little weary, not my hands, but my wrists, I can do this on my elbows. I could even work on my half moon with my elbows down. I don't have to force the pressure in my wrist. So if you move onto your elbows and your hands are clutching, that's okay too. You don't have to come up into a headstand, but you're preparing your shoulders to strengthen and open the joint. So I would encourage you to try this with the elbows down, just to feel the energy in the shoulders solid, right? It seems quite lengthy to have your arms down, but it is a little bit of pressure in your low back as well. So if you haven't tried turning your foot at the wall open, give it a try. Whether my elbow is down or my hand is down, I'm going to turn and try to lift the right arm open. It's kind of nice. I like this elbow on the chair. Yeah, I can really focus on how my hip on the standing leg has to stay sturdy all the way into the joint so this right hip can open. So I want you to feel that standing thigh really trying to open, but also to cultivate the steadiness, the ease. I don't know if it's easy for you, but if you have mobility in the joint and the flexibility in the leg muscles, it's probably a little easier. So working with gaining that through the practice. So as you lower the right hand down, I want you to take an in-between pose of choice. So it might be a chair dog without the wall behind your seat, right? Pushing back. Hands on the seat, arms lengthened, head down. You might decide to bend the knees a little bit to kind of let the back simmer. Just let it soften. Go from simmer to soothe. And now as you peel up the spine, bring your right foot forward, change sides, feel the footing and the lifting of the left foot up to the wall. Right? Be sure you're not too far away from the wall, right? You want to feel like, that is solid as the floor is for my foot, my other foot. Yeah, and letting go of the idea of how does it look? Is it perfect? Feel the sensation in your standing leg and hip, not just the leg, but the hip. So I want my right leg so it feels like it's really working into my hip. I have my bones in my hip. The neck of the femur here. Okay. So if my elbow is down, I can turn my left foot open. Now see, the key here is not to let the foot go higher, like the splits, but to maintain it. So straight from the hip socket into the wall, so both legs are able to strengthen around the joint. So when my left arm opens, yeah, there's a little bit of fear with balance, but you have your chair, you have the wall and the floor. I don't think you want more props than that to hold you up. So go with it, carry on, feel the waist turn. I want you to stay with it for a few more moments and notice the standing leg, how you have to lift up in that inner thigh and then rotate the pelvis to the left hip. And then the arm can be open and up or the arm can be behind your back. Right, see if you can let your focus be either direction with your arm, even if it's besides you, but trying to keep the legs solid so this right buttock stretches down towards the right heel. I'm not trying to push my rear back, right? I'm trying to let the right buttock press towards the right heel. So this right glute is very strong. Okay, strengthen through the legs. Stretch the left hand down. Actually, you just ease it down to the chair. And then let your bones pivot. And I want you to slowly lower the left foot, or quickly, however you got to get out of there. Center your feet, hips distance E. And take a block and move your chair in close proximity. So if you stepped on the chair in a moment, you could reach the wall behind you. So you want to have it easy. You can just barely get to reach the wall. Not too close, not too far away. We'll play with it. Take the block between the hands. Lift up, bend your elbows. So you're in an arm pattern that's similar to tricep stretching, right? Gomukhasana. Okay, so I have my hands pushing into the block and bring the block to the wall, okay? See if you can bring that block back to the wall so that the hands are trying to figure out, how do I hold this? Yeah, and the elbows squeeze in. Okay, tailbone rests down from the spine. That's tricky. See if you can manage the arms here. And then feet close together. My hands come a little bit away from the wall with the block. Step the right foot up to the chair seat and lift up your arms. And then bend your elbows, bring your block towards your upper back, just the way that it goes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bending, hands in the back, holding that block. Inhaling up. Switch sides, right foot down, left foot up on the chair, and alternate. So it is an interesting leg position. I know it seems like what's so interesting about this, but after the last set of poses of balance, this is really carrying it into a different level to kind of seal the deal in the bones from a half moon pose. Now, the last time you bring that block up for this purpose, we're going to lower the block. You can drop it to the floor. And then we're going to turn so the right hand reaches to the outer left knee, and the left hand reaches to the wall. Okay, so I want you to try to get your hand to the wall and feel a twist through the waist. Yeah. Relax your attention on how perfect it is. See if you can focus on, okay, I'm turning. I have ribs, the really thick ribs lifted. Feel how the twist is about the ribs lifting, not how far you turn. Now come back center, interlace your fingers, push the palms forwards, take the left foot off the chair, center the right foot up on the seat. Round your back into a cat spine. Chin to chest. Inhale up with the arms. Try to move them back besides your ears. Lift up out of the ribs like your ribs are getting taller and taller and taller. They have to tolerate. Tolerate. And turn to the right. Left hand to the outside of the right knee. Reach the right hand back to what works for you. So for me, it feels like I'm a little close to the wall. I have a little bit of space. So I actually am requiring myself to lift up the thickness of the ribs. Right? Feeling how it would be nice if your structure felt like it was balanced, right? So you felt like the midsection has a reason to exist. It's not just the legs to get you around, the arms to get you things, but the midsection has an actual reason to help you feel balanced. Now to add a layer to this leg awareness, we'll take the right hand back forward now, moving the right foot down, and then turn so that we're going to place the seat of the chair a little closer, move the chair close enough, and center the left foot back, the top of your left foot to stretch your left quad, back on the chair seat so the thigh band drops out of the hip. And really just kind of droop. The thigh just kind of drops. You're not muscling your way into this one. You're feeling maybe around your left hip, but the muscles aren't being pushed into and forced. You're trying to lengthen. Okay. So if your back foot on the chair feels like you want to go a little farther back, try. just be kind to how much you're pushing into the left foot. The right foot has to hold you up, but feel a relaxed left foot. Now change sides, keep it really simple. Right foot back on the chair seat, reach your thigh back. Feel the cycle of energy in your mid-back. And the upper back has a lot of definition with the arms at the wall. So it doesn't really need a direction to go to, because the upper back is kind of opening with the hand gesture. Even though it seems like you're pushing, you're opening your upper back. So I would let the right leg just feel supported on the chair. Now encourage the direction here of the pelvis, lightly drawing under, so you're not pushing your hips back. Slide the right foot forward and then take a seat on your chair. Bring it a little closer to the wall so that you can easily touch the wall but not get too close to it. And then add a block between the knees, and we'll take our hands to the chair back to open the chest. So I'm going to move my hips a little bit forward, so I'm at the edge of the chair seat, so I'm not dipped down into the chair at all. Yeah, be sure you're not too close to the wall. I might be a little close-ish, but be sure you got some space from it. So as you hold the block, just gently, you're not trying to squeeze it any further. I want you to try to feel if you get your hands on the seat of the chair, back behind you. Feel the hands so they have to face towards you, and the chest opens, the shoulders back. Gradually lift in the front body, the ribs, but what's going on with the belly, right? Is it even able to cooperate here? So what I like to focus on, what we're moving towards, is this core connection, and then back into some gentle twists, some quad openers, and some leg strengtheners as well. So obviously the weight training, the resistance of the legs is the bone strengthening work. But we got to keep that core tuned up here. So feel the shoulders back. Okay, left hand to the right outer leg. Similar to where we were moments ago, but now it's lower in the ribs, right? My hand was at the wall earlier, and I twist, right, it's my upper ribs. So now it's mid to lower ribs. So as I turn, I'm gonna have my hand on the seat of the chair, and I'm trying to move my right shoulder back. So your head could rotate. I like to suggest guiding my head, tilt my ear towards my shoulder just a little bit, and to move my right shoulder back to stretch my neck. So feeling up with the ribs, turn with the breath. And now as you turn back forwards with your right and left hand on the lap, lift up the chest, inhale, and then exhale, turn to the left, right hand to outside of the left leg, left hand back on the chair seat. Keep it so simple and responsible that your knees are across from each other. You're trying to hold on to the block, right, evenly and reasonably. So when I twist, I can feel my ribs, I can feel my waist. I kind of play with that rotation. If it's really up in your bulky, thick ribs and you feel like that's how you twist from, right? Feel kind of the dimension of the pecs, right? The chest reference, and then the upper thick ribs that connect right at the base of the pec. And then really connecting to your obliques here, the side abdominal muscles. So feel that transverse abdominal muscle as well turning. It's quite, you know, focused and quite intense too. That head could tilt. Loosen your grasp with your left hand. And then as you come forward, remove the block. Face the right foot up to the left knee. And moving the block down, hands on the wall. Forward motion into that right hip. Now the ribs might kind of lay themselves down, especially the forward spine lays down. Yeah, if you have that spine flexibility, but not the same in the hip flexor, you might want to be a little bit higher up and stay with that. Head centered between the arms. Now good, stay with the energy of support. Come back center, and then as you switch sides, right foot down, left foot up and across to the right knee, open the left hip. Well, we tried here. And then when we lean forward, we use the way to kind of project from the chair and pinch ourselves forwards. And then the hands to the wall. I think the wall is a good source of support for this one. You might use the chair to hold on to and lean. You might feel a different sense of leverage there, holding a few different parts of the chair. If you do this pose isolated on its own when you're sitting around sometime, you might find different places to touch onto for support. But sitting in a chair at a table is unlikely you're going to be pushing into a wall. But you might be able to hold the chair seat. Now as you motion down, I want you to lower down, so we're going to actually do a little bit of a tricep dip. So I'm going to move my chair a tiny bit back, so when I bring my feet to the wall, I lift my hips up. I can bend my elbows, right? So I've got to have my chair far enough back so I can barely get my feet to the wall. A little bit more challenge here. One more push. That should do it. Okay. So hold the sides of the chair. Now you can hold so the fingers face forward, right? That would be the best. So when I bend the elbows back, I'm trying to move my shoulders back, bend my elbows, lower my seat, my rear, and then lift up and straighten. You can hold the sides of the chair as well, but I want you to just do a couple of these. Bend your knees, push the bottoms of the feet down, take yourself away from the wall itself with your feet, and then go into it. Bend your elbows. Push up. Heat in the arms. Bend the elbows lower. Push up. One more. Hands could be fingers forward or fingers turning out on the chair, okay? Push up. Now we're going to kneel so the left and right foot come down, our knees come down. And now we're going to take a seat in front of the chair here next to it. So take a blankie down on your mat so that you can easily sit on the support. Yeah, you might want to unravel your arms, shake them out a little bit. Feel the arms move up, feel the arms move open, feel the shoulders roll. And we'll get the arms stretched out a lot here. Okay, so first things first, feet together in Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. Seated on the blanket, comfy as could be. Blocks could be under the knees. Makes it pretty easy, huh? And then the sand across the feet, across horizontally. Okay, so I have my soles of my feet close, the knees touching the blocks. or the sides of the thighs. And when I reach to the bar, back of the chair, maybe not the bar of the chair, but the arms of the chair, I'm going to work my arms to stretch. Really reach. So all the muscles that kind of got all kind of wrangled up in the last few moments with the dips, be able to reach to the arms. And then feel if you can get your arms so that they're on the chair stretching. So your upper back is really stretching. Use the chair to stretch your back. The arms of the chair. Your chin might be on the chair seat. Let your eyes close. Right? Avoid reading your thoughts. Connect to your breath. Let your back really sense the opening across the back. Okay, now the back of the pelvis is in a smile, right? It's got a nice smile from knee that then draws down, right, at the back through the pelvis into the other knee. It's like a smile. So we want to keep a little bit of that. So when we reach our ribs back center and hands to the chair seat, center the waist back, so you're trying to work on upright, prim, and properness. Okay, now let's move our block from the left leg out, away. Take the sand onto the upper right thigh and stretch the left foot under the chair seat. Okay? So let's take it here. So we've got the right knee position open. Now it seems a little bit confusing. Am I going right? Am I going forward? I want you to go forwards to the chair like you just were, but now you've only got one leg bent, one leg straight. And reach in front for a few seconds. Now we're going to open it up to the side of the waist. So come back center. It's just setting up. You're going to turn right. Now if your sand on your leg is making you a little bit uptight about that twist, that's okay. Take it off for a moment. Turn to the right. So the right knee is open. The right foot is touching the left inner thigh. Sand it back on to the right leg. Okay. And then extend your left arm and let the side gradually stretch. I like to put my head in my hand, and so my neck doesn't have anything that's pulling against or resisting. And the right hand could reach to the wall, but it could also move a little bit back on the wall. Could be over the side of your face. I suggest you connect to the mid to lower back sensitive-wise and noticing if you can breathe in that space, if you can feel the breath actually vibrate there. So if you can feel expansive on the inhale and on the exhale, movement. My arm could be in many different ranges here. So the study in this position is not to get to the end of the pose, but to feel the awareness the pose brings into the right side of your waist. I'm going to let the pose itself get into the body, not the body get into the pose, right? So we're trying to sense the side. Now you could always go deeper on this one, right? You could move the chair away, put your elbow on the leg. Just trying to give us so that we keep the height in the vertebrae. We keep the height in the spine. Stay with that right hip opening as well. The wall is an interesting awareness on this from my side. So you give us a few more moments here. Now keep the left foot reaching. So the foot is flexed if possible. The left arm is going to help you come up, and you're going to come up and feel the rotation. So my left arm is still on the chair. So my rotations in my upper ribs. Breathe, open the chest, keep the right hand at the wall in a relatively reasonable position, not too high, not too low. Make a statement, opening your heart. Some of these muscles might feel kind of tangled up or responding to life, so you might find a little bit extra time opening up these spaces and help you feel well. Just the chest, the heart. And now when we kite the right hand down, we're going to move our sand aside and actually move both legs out to a wide angle. Upavista Konasana, and bring your hands so they're actually to the legs of the chair, and try to feel your feet flex and lift the toes up. So the feet are not rolling in, right? The toes are upwards. This creates a little more strength in my back because I'm pushing into something with my hands versus kind of putting them up and then arching my spine and whatever have you with that. So feel the purpose here. You can push the chair away. If it's pretty easy for you, you just keep going, and keep going, and keep going. And it's flat. But feel where there's a reasonable amount of steadiness here and strength to your back. The hands holding the chair is kind of interesting for your arm muscles. It's like weight training, right? You're like pushing and pulling. And now if you have the hands on the chair legs, I want you to lower the hands to the floor so that you have to push your chair away a little bit here. If it's too much, come back closer to your legs. If your feet are turning in, just see if you can transition the toes to be up. It's only temporary, right? But it might help you develop just the coordination of the nerves and the legs up into the hips. So when we pull the chair a little bit in, just enough so it'll be easy for you to get a hold of it soon, you're going to come up and then feel as the legs swan your back in. Right foot under the chair, right leg, left foot to the inside of the right leg. Bring your hands on the chair seat. Yeah, there's a block over there, right? So you might use it under your left knee. You might put a sandbag on the upper thigh. You might wait till the next pose. But feel the energy of flexing your right foot. Now, last time I relied on the bar at the back of the chair to kind of hold my foot up. Learning what I'm adapting to, or if I'm actually adaptive. Now when you turn to go to the fuller pose, right? This is a revolved Janu Shirshasana, right? So it's a seated side angle. So when I turn, my left foot goes higher on the other right thigh. I turn my hip to the left, and then I add my stand on the left thigh. Place it up high. Reach your right arm, and this is an exploration kind of practice the pause pose. So feel the transfer of the waist. This could be called waist anonymous pose. Like there's many different tracks of waist muscles I'm working with. So see if you can be, you don't have to say what part you're working, but your head could go in your hand. I'm probably mumbling to you because I'm the other way, but when you're reaching with your right arm down, I encourage you to explore the left hand to either be at the wall, behind you, or reaching over. Okay, so stay with that energy of muscles in the core. Right? They are quite complacent to just sit and lower and slump. They're really complacent. So feel that you're actually lifting up. Right, the final set is going to be about lifting all the way through that core zone. So take a few more moments of feeling whether the hand touches the wall and you stay with that push. And rotation. Breathe. Feel the left hand at the wall and start to come up so you're striking length with the spine. Lengthen, not just elongate, but lengthen. That makes more sense to me than elongate. That seems to have kind of a stop. But lengthen. So twist. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a harsh turn. I want you to be especially supportive of your experience. Now, feeling all that work that's kind of evolving in your bones. Slide the left hand down. Now, as we make our way to the floor with our back down, we're going to move the chair over to the side. And I want you to move your sand off to any side you want to place it, it's fine. When you turn, you're going to turn so that your feet are up at the wall. Okay, so I'm going to push my blankie back. I'm going to lay on my back and place actually put your blanket all the way back. Place it so that if you need your blanket under your head, use it. But if you can feel your feet at the wall, lift it up. Feel your spine comfortably resting down. Yeah, take at least 10 seconds specifically to feel that your spine is flat. Okay, you'll feel the pelvic curl, right? And if your feet are up, so there's a little bit of that tailbone, it's just in a random place, right? It's not pushing anything. Okay, it's a little bit up. So lead with the tailbone. You're going to bring your block between the knees, so you have something that is relatively strengthening in your pelvic floor, actually the pelvic tone in the inner thighs, that idea. So my arms are going to be besides my hips. Okay, if you don't like the no blanket idea under your head, there's no blanket policy on this bridge post, you can add it. But you're going to push your feet into the wall about hip well. They have to be distant with the block between the knees, so it's about that. And as you lift up your hips, I want you to feel where the pressure goes into your upper back, and then carefully move your arms overhead. Alternate massaging the spine. Lift and lower. Make a position with your feet so you really do feel support. It's like you push, and it moves up the spine. It's really mid to upper back, isn't it? All the way up to the shoulder blades, and then down. Take it one more time. Inhale up. And now as you are up, I want you to push into the wall, lift your heels up. And then as you lower down the spine, slowly bring your arms forward, take your block, bring the knees in a little bit to get the block. Push your roots of your toes, the balls of the feet to the wall, heels off the wall. I would slide a blanket in under your head for this one. And then when you lift up your hips, you're going to put your block low to mid-height horizontally across the sacrum, so it goes across versus towards the wall. And then we're going to lift up our feet towards the sky and emphasize the feet kind of flaring, like you're trying to stretch them out. And you feel the bottoms of them and the range of motion in your feet without being stepped on. They don't like to express that very often without being stepped on. So feel where your arms are comfortable, maybe out to cactus, elbows open, hands back. And really enjoy the spine, the suggestion in the spine here. It's quite spine supported. So flexibility of your spinal column. Warming it up for when we get to our final inversion, just taking time to gradually warm up the spine. And then relax the pressures that you put around flexing your feet and making them look animated, and just let them be. This is where you're trying to impress, right? Yourself, your eyes, see if you can let your feet just be. And now as you feel the spine kind of being picked up at the tail space and lifted up, merely by a block, right? It just kind of picks up the tailbone, slides it up to invert the spine. So we want the spine to feel inversions because that actually creates traction for the vertebrae. Feel the legs move a little bit forwards. Now feel the knees bend, and then as you push a foot at a time to the wall, I want you to push and lift up your hips, slide the block out, and you get to go into the reclining twist of choice. So I like to really feel my spine go down slowly through the very lower back. Now, if you want to have a bolster under your knees, you might push a little farther back, just a little bit from the wall. And then you could take your bolster on the right side and place your left leg over to the bolster by itself. If you decide, no, I'm good without the bolster, you could cross the left leg over the right, knees to the right. I would encourage you to let the leg, the back of that hip into the lumbar to really try to gradually lift and invert. So the bolster gives it a little bit of that inverted capacity so it really broadens in the low back. The sand is not required, it's helpful. I think it's useful to have the leg sand, not necessarily on the hip alone, but the leg, right? And the left arm can stand. Give it a few moments. Let your head roll left. Let the muscles in the upper back feel space out, right? Spaciousness. And so the work is in inner environment, feeling a little more spacious. And let the belly flow with that. And now when we switch the sides, I want you to move the sand first and let the legs windshield like this. So we're going to uncross and then bring our feet a little wider than your hips distance and bring the knees from side to side. Let them go floppy, right? If your bolster's kind of in the way, move a little bit out and feel the waist go side to side too. The only thing you want to stay is with the upper back solid on the floor supporting. It's got a supporting role right now. It's your supporting actress. So you want it to be fairly broad and has a purpose supporting the lower body to be able to sway with the breeze here. Now, as I start to make way to my second side, my lower back and my thighs are warmed up here. So I'm going to move my bolster to the left, and then when I cross it over, let the right leg swing over. If you don't like this suggestion, you can cross the legs, and it might be a little more intense. The bolster, though, is kind of like another leg, right? But it's farther out, so it does create some more extension. And then as you, or lengthen. Not elongate, but lengthen. You get the idea. So my sand is closer to my knee at this point. Okay. Open out the right arm. Feel the waist. Feel the ribs. Feel the connection of the hips. And then feel your head turn to the right. Just simply noticing where the weight is in your upper back, if you're able to twist and open up the chest. and where the brain is moving, the weight of your brain. Think of this as an experience for your inner environment to also feel a little bit more stable and able to kind of move along into its daily habit. So feeling that you're providing it with some stability. Now the final pose project is an inversion of choice. So you might want your legs to be up at the wall and Viparita Karani. You might want your legs to be up on a chair. You could use a chair to let the legs fold over. And you could also go into a chair shoulder stand. Okay? So as I move my sand off my right thigh, and I inch my way in towards one of those poses, I'm going to first hold on to the backs of the legs and let the knees circle, so I massage the sacrum. Go both directions. And then notice when my legs go up here, that it would be nice to find somewhere to place the whole body so I can really get that inversion. That's the purpose here. So I'm going to carefully roll myself to come up and find that inversion. Okay, so I want you to find support so that you have either the bolster or the blanket stacked near the wall. You're going to choose this pose, Viparita Karani. You have a blanket next to the center-ish of your mat. Not too far back, but close enough your head can easily rest into it. And then you have a sand bed. If you're going to do chair shoulder stand, you're going to just need your chair and a blanket on top of the chair and a bolster on the feet of the chair. Okay? So, first things first. Wall people, sit at the bolster so your tush is next to the wall. And provide yourself with enough support so that when you sit your rear to the wall, as close as you actually want to go, it's up to you. The key is to get your legs up the wall so they swing up, and then you have to adjust your shoulders and your hip frame, right? So it's the shoulder frame, the hip frame, and then it's really architecturally so simple. I'm just trying to get my legs up, please, so that my cardiovascular system, right, can actually lower the blood pressure. So I want to get these feet up, however high I can get them the best. So the sand on the feet in this version provides that intensification of the flush of the lymph nodes, right? So the key is if you're at the wall position. Now, if you're at a chair shoulder stand, that intensifies that flush because your legs are directly up. So it feels a little speedier. It's not speedier, it actually, the speed calms the nervous system. So it's a calmer position. It's mentally calm, although it's kind of a trip that the feet getting upside down is going to calm you so much more. Okay. So at the speed of light, okay, I have my feet with the suggested width that's comforting for my hips. My arms flow open and my elbows rest back and the hands up. Feel the tailbone press into the bolster. If you're doing the chair shoulder stand, I want you to get a sense that your feet are in alignment up so that you are stimulating the belly muscles and opening the respiratory muscles as well. So the diaphragm in both of these positions really strengthens your breathing muscles, your core. Anytime the legs are upside down, you're stimulating your core. So the key would be to stay with that stimulation and then start to calm the pace of the breath to steady the mind and be particular about the pace of your breath. Slow, easy, relax the mind. Yeah, if you've got a project or a list in your brain, you might let that list kind of go by like a cloud. Maybe it'll come back in your consciousness again today. But see if you can take the moments here to clear the mind, clear the data, center your hips. Now, at first, you'll feel the circulation in your chest, perhaps in your throat, right? The endocrine glands, the little bit of the light chin tuck. See if it can be natural, so it's not that you're putting a harsh pressure at your cervical vertebrae. You might feel a mild tuck, but that certainly soaks up in the organs in your throat, right? You can feel the glands in the throat are quite hydrated, so rejuvenate those glands. Now feel that for a moment without trying to tighten. See if you can relax your throat, swallow, especially the shoulder stand, right? That's a very clear queen of all the poses. Shoulder stand. Endocrine pose. And now as you start to transition your pose, if your legs are up and shoulders down, I want you to try to feel the feet move a little forward. Kind of teases the belly and different lands of the muscles. And then when you move your feet all the way, bend the knees, you might bring your feet to Baddha Konasana. So we're going to take our knees to bend here, move our stand aside, and then join in Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees out. If you're at the wall, you could actually push the legs. If you're in the chair, that's not a good idea. Your hands are at the lower rungs of the chair to hold yourself open in the chest. So if you're in the chair, you kind of have your feet at the back bar rest. And keep in mind that if you notice that you like that Baddha Konasana pose, next time you do it, you might practice with a towel at over the bar of the chair or a blanket, and it's a little more soft with the feet. Kind of nice. And then we'll take our legs so they are wide stance. So if you're at the chair, it's a little challenging in your hip muscles. And then we'll bring our legs back in and let's start to flow down. So in the chair, you're going to need a few extra moments to get yourself off the chair. Let your hands go away from the rungs and lower down to the bolster. At the wall, we'll keep it quite simple, but give ourselves a moment before we roll out and up because of our blood pressure. So hug the knees in towards the chest. Feel the energy move through the spine. Remember that blood pressure changes by all the change in pressure at the baroreceptors in our neck. So this position of the knees in is quite helpful to steady that circulation, steady the flow into the back. And then let your feet feel that freedom, not being stepped on for a few more moments. And feel the flesh of the feet squirm around. And then from the foot squirming, you're going to roll where you are, how it works. You're going to roll to the side in a little cannonball shape. Let your hands push you up. And take a seat on your bolster or your blanket. And then let your knees move open. And feel the knees as they split out. Feel the hands resting in the lap. And let the spine feel where elevation stands out of the back of the pelvis. Might feel the best right now after being upside down. Just noticing that the spine has a little bit more sway and a little bit more lift to the back. Let the forehead relax, bow the brain down, and surrender towards the heart. Feel the breath merging, and on the next inhale, see if you can guide your hands together. And let's unite our breath. Inhale slow. And exhale, bowing into the heart. And with gratitude, namaste. Okay, thank you. Hope that felt good. Need to be a very defined